Good morning everyone and welcome to Sugar and Crumbs. My name's Tracey Mann from Tracey Mann Cakes. Apologies, I'm late. That's not unheard of, is it? I'm just looking around thinking, what is that over there that's overhanging? I think, oh, it's my phone. I know, so technically challenged as ever. Good morning and welcome. So today I'm going to do some cupcake cookies. So I've done some royal ice ones already. I can't do those live because they take time to dry, so I filmed those earlier today and I will put a little video up later on my YouTube channel, which you can then watch later on. So I'll pop that on now. Where's my YouTube? There it is. So there's my YouTube channel. So if you want to watch that later on, that will be up hopefully later today because yeah, it's difficult to do these live when they're royal icing. So I am going to do some sugar paste ones instead. So you're going to have two different sets of designs so that you can then choose between the two. So if you like to work with royal icing, there will be a royal icing video. If you like to work with sugar paste, there'll be a sugar paste video. And if you like them both, well, then I've ticked both boxes for you, haven't I? So there you go. It'll all be sorted. But both videos will go up. There'll be one on here, which will be this one, and then I'll put them both up onto my YouTube channel so you'll be able to watch them all. Now, in my ability to remain organised, I forgot to make the whipping it up, so I'm going to have to do that live, which is fine because I do need that for my, even my sugar paste ones. There is some royal icing involved, so I'm going to be making that up in a minute. And then we're going to get going and do, I'm looking around, I always do this to check I've actually got everything. I've literally plonked myself down here and went, I'm sure I've got everything ready. But anyway, I'm going to give you a few ideas this morning using these lovely new cutters of ours. So these are on my website, traceyscakes.co.uk. They are lovely. Here we go. So we have made, or I have made, some cupcake cookie cutters, and I've done them in 3 different sizes. I've now started to use them, pipe them to show you what you can do with them all. So I'm sure once you see all this, you're going to be just going mad because they're just so lovely. And we're going to have a go at using these. I'm not going to make any cookies because I don't have an oven here. I've already made them, or rather I made Kelly make them for me. And so I'm going to decorate them for us instead. Now Kelly's not here, so I'm on my own. So I'm sure my PA, Nikki, is on. I'm sure I've just seen her name. So I'm sure if there's any links or anything you want, she'll pop them up there for you. But anyway, let's get going. And we're going to start with making whipping it up. So whipping it up, I'm looking around for the bag. There it is. Whipping it up is... It's a Sugar and Crumbs product. It's got egg white in it. So it's icing sugar with egg white mixed into it already, or egg white powder. And then you add water and you can get royal icing out of it, which is what we're going to be doing this morning. So I need a little bit for my decorations. And then we have, it makes all sorts of other things. Just get my teeth in. Including Swiss meringue buttercream, mousse meringue, pavlova, shortbread, you name it. Carol's made it on here, and Karen. So if you want to know how to use this in another capacity, then just go on to Sugar and Crumbs, onto this Facebook page, and just put in whipping it up, and there's a million different recipes on there, so you will be able to work out what it is that you want to do with it. But for today's purpose, we're going to make royal icing. So we're going to just add some water and we're going to beat it, and you'll see it coming up under here in a second. Now, what was I going to say about this? When this dries, it does dry a sort of a creamy colour. So if you want it to dry white, you're going to need to add some white dust to it whilst you're doing it to stop it doing that, because otherwise you will end up with it a yellow colour. It doesn't actually matter if you're dyeing it pink or anything else, it will be fine. It's only if you want it to dry white that you need to add a little bit of white food colouring of some description to stop it doing that. So we've got lemon drizzle here. Now I've only got half a packet. I don't need the whole packet, so I'm just going for half of it. So a whole packet is 500 grams. Now 500 grams to approximately 70 grams of water, so tap water. We're not going to get into hot, cold or any of those things, just water out the tap is fine. And then, but I'm going to do half, so I'm going to do 250 grams of whipping it up with 35 grams of water. So I'm going to make up half a bag. So you don't need to make up everything when you do this, okay? So when you get a big bag like this, you can weigh up half and then reseal it and then do it later on. So you don't need to use the whole lot in one go. Sometimes people go, oh, there's clouds of icing sugar just past me then. Don't touch anything. Yeah, sometimes people think they need to make up these huge quantities because the bag is a 500-gram bag. We need to make the whole lot up. You can always half it, quarter it, and get it down to the amount that you need. So I'm going to do half. I think that will be fine. I'm sure that's all I need pretty much. I've already put it in a bowl, you see. Now I managed to do that bit, and I managed to weigh up the water. So I have got here 250 grams of lemon drizzle, whipping it up with 35 grams of water. So I'm going to pop those two together. Now I have done this wrong on a live before when I weighed up the wrong amount, so hopefully I've done it okay. And I've got my electric whisk, although actually, having said that, I don't actually know if I've plugged it in. It's not looking like I have, so let's get that plugged in. Right, okay, so we should be in business here. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Yeah, now before I do this, in order just to save my mobile phone more than anything else, which is above this, I'm just going to take some of this. I'm going to mix this up. Now, you wouldn't need to do this. I'm only doing this literally because my phone is directly above this, and every device I have seems to be coated in icing sugar. So I'm just going to try and save it a little bit from having a load of icing sugar aimed at it. But I am going to use the whisk in a second, so we'll just try and combine a little bit of it before we get going. Otherwise, there's clouds of icing sugar everywhere, all over everything, and me. We don't want that. So that should be enough to get us going. Right, let's pop this in. Okay, there's a little bit of a cloud situation, but not too bad. There we go. Okay, so we'll give this a whisk. Now I'm going to add the white, which I forgot to do at this point. So it's about 1 gram of white powder should do it. So I'm just going to literally just tap a little bit of white powder in there. So this is white dusting colour, and then I'm going to carry on. So it will start to change colour. Sorry, I'm trying to get it so you can see it. There you go. So it will start to change colour. It's quite yellow at the start, and then it will start to go a bit whiter. It smells very nice anyway. Let's move it around a little bit. This is the noisy bit of the demonstration. Apart from my laugh, obviously. So we do this for a couple of minutes. Yeah, you can all like and share while I'm doing this. You can hear me. I'm still here. I think we're near enough there. Now if you look at it, if I do that with my beaters, can you see it sort of stands up a bit like a snow scene? Now if we've got it like that, that's what we want for our piping today. So that's the consistency I'm looking for. So one more whisk round and I think we're there. If I'm ever unsure, I can always add a bit more water, a bit more icing sugar. You don't just have to fix it to exactly what I've just said. Let me take this down, actually, that's in the way. If you find that the icing sugar, you need a little bit more, then put a bit more in. If you need a bit more water, put a bit more water in. But you're looking for this, I always call it snow scene, so you can just do this with it and it holds its shape. So that's what you're looking for, like that. There we go. Okay. All right, now let me find a spatula. That would help, wouldn't it? Okay, so whilst I'm using it, I do need to keep it covered. So I'm just going to push it down the edges there, like so. There we go. Like that, and then we'll just keep that to one side. Now I'm going to cover it because I don't want it to go off, so let me grab some cling film in my very organised cupboard. So just while I'm doing everything else, I'm actually not going to leave it covered for very long because I'm going to be using it quite quickly today. So let's take that out. That can go off to the sink. Let me pop that in the sink. There we go. And then whilst I'm doing this, I'm just going to pop this down over here and I'm going to press it so it goes to the bottom when it finally cooperates. It's all sticking to me, of course it is. There we go. And that will just stop it drying out for us, so it just seals it. Right, let's get these into the sink because they will dry out. Okay, right, that's the whipping it up bit done. There we go, that wasn't too stressful at all. I'm still here and I'm not stressed about that at all. That's all fine. We've done that. So let me look around and see what I need next. So we've done the whipping it up. We've made that bit. Now we're going to start doing some of the cases. So we're going to have a look at a couple of different options. When I've done all of this, I'm going to show you the royal iced ones that I did yesterday / this morning, so you can have a look at those. So we'll get to those at the end. We're going to look at the sugar paste ones first. So let's do that next. Now I've got them all on a board actually. There we go. So let's bring those on here and I'm going to just explain some of the things we've done with them. So this is the cutter set. So this is what we've made them from, just so that you're getting confused. So we've got a small one here, which is this one, medium and then large. Now I know somebody's immediately going to say, how big are they? So I'm leaning across to grab my tape measure so you can see. So the size of this is 11.5 centimetres, so this one is quite big. And then we are about 9 centimetres that way, so it's 11 by 9. This one here, from the tallest point here, is 8.5 by, what have we got here? 7. And then we've got a little mini one here, which is really dinky, and that is 5.5 by, what's that? 4.5 approximately, all centimetres. So there you go, you've got 3 different sizes there, and I've done them like that deliberately because I've got an idea that I had with this one, which does work, and I've done it already, so I'll show you that later on. So this one we've actually cut out a section that we've had so you can pop it onto a coffee cup, and I will show you how that works later on. But when you're baking these, all you need to do is cut that section out halfway through baking. So when you put them in the oven, put them in the oven like this, and then halfway through, get them out and get your knife and just chop a little panel like that and then put them back in. We tried to do it before they went in and we found that they were just spreading and they were not holding their shape. Or you can do it the minute they come out of the oven. That's the other way of doing it. So the minute your cookies come out the oven, chop out this little panel here. It's only on the little one. It doesn't apply to any of the others. It's just on this little one here. So if you want to do this particular thing, and I'll explain what's going on with that later on because it probably looks a bit weird at the moment, you can see how that works. But it's quite fun. It's just a bit of fun more than anything else. So that's that. Now, let's say these are the sugar paste ones. And now I'm looking for my sugar paste and thinking, what did I do with it? There it is, I've buried it. Right, so we're going to paint some. We're going to put some bases on them. So we're going to do lots of different things with them. We're not just going to use one thing. We're going to use some printouts, and don't faint everyone, but I think my edible printer may be up and running again. I know, it's unbelievable. I've had a bit of a week of my edible printer. I should come back on. Just say, owning an edible printer is one of life's stresses, and it's been very stressful this week, but the new ink for the printer that I ordered has now arrived, and I will be going home to have a little fight with it later on. So I hope that my printing is all back up and running again, which would make me very happy. I cannot tell you how happy that will make me. But anyway, we'll go back to the cookies now. I've had my little discussion on my lovely edible printer. All right, so what I've done is I've got various different designs lined up in different sizes. You're also going to find one of these is quite helpful for if you do royal icing, because what I did with the royal icing is I drew across this into sections so that I knew where I was piping. I'm going to just do it because it doesn't actually matter on here because we're piping everything slightly differently today. So I took an edible black pen and I literally went across it like that, just like even, you don't even need to make it a straight line or a solid line. You can just make it as a hatched line there. And then when I did my royal iced ones, I piped these in sections, and the video will explain that later on, and I say that's coming later today. So an edible black pen is very handy for doing something like this as well. So if you've got one of those, excellent news, because they are very good for that. So let's start with making a floral cupcake base. You know, like when you get these very nice cupcake bases that are all fabulous and lovely. Do you know what I mean? You know, flash cupcake cases. I'm trying to think of the right word then. So we have got these floral sheets on our website. This one's very chopped up, but we have A4 sheets of these, and we have this design and we have a daisy design, and we've got some more coming out shortly. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop this onto here. I mean, I have been cutting coffee cups out of this, which is why it's a bit all over the place. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn it around the right way and just hold it still. Now I need to cut up to about that point there. So I'm just going to take my pen, go around the outside edge with my pen up to the point I need the cutter to be. So there you go. So that will be my cupcake case there. So I can then take, have I got a plastic side scraper somewhere? There must be one around. Hold on. Let's see what I can find. There must be one on the sink. Let's go and have a look. Yep. There's always one around somewhere. World's most handiest bit of equipment ever. So then what I'm going to do is I'll just take that and just draw straight across there, like so. Let's take that off there. And then get some scissors. Also something that always goes missing when I go live, but no, today I have them. And then all I'm going to do is just cut round this. So I'm just going to cut slightly inside the edge, like that. So I don't want the black pen on there. I'll make sure I don't have that bit there. Now, I know someone's going to say to me, how many do I think you can get out of one sheet? Quite a lot is the answer. I haven't actually done it myself, and obviously it depends on whether you do all large cupcake cookies or whether you decide to do some medium ones or some small ones. So it's going to vary, but you know, you can see from this sheet I've been chopping all sorts of bits and pieces out of it sort of randomly as and when. And then all you need to do is make sure that when you're not using these sheets that you put them into a plastic bag and you seal them. And when I mean seal them, I mean make them airtight, because if you don't make them airtight, what happens is they basically dry out and then they sort of crack, and then they're not very nice to deal with. They've got a bit of a plastic backing on them, which I can't get hold of. Normally when I go live it gets stuck. There we go. Which you just peel back like so, and you have to take that bit off so that you can then stick that onto the cupcake. So that's one large one. Now let's move that out of the way. We'll try and stick to the dry stuff if we get all the messy stuff out, because otherwise that's what normally happens. And then I thought, well, we'll do a kids one as well. So we'll do that one there, and then we've got this jungle strip as well. So that one's going to go with that. So I'm just lining things up here so I know what I'm doing. Unbelievably. Unbelievably, I know what I'm doing. So you could actually sort of take, you can look at your sheet and go, oh, I'd quite like to have a monkey on there or whatever, and you can kind of line it up according to sort of whatever it is that you want on there. So let's just do that, shall we? Let's take this out. I'm always going on about this for the last few weeks with coffee cups. Well, I think this would look just as much fun as the sort of funky cupcake bases that you get on these, you know, when you buy cupcake cases, you get all Spider-Man, all these different ones. I say Spider-Man because that's what I bought yesterday, but all sorts of different ones, and I thought actually this would work quite well. So we'll have a little tiger on that one, shall we? We'll just put that out. So they all work out really nicely for parties, you know, if you were doing gift bags or something, you know. I have to say my kids were little, I used to love the goodie bag bit. And I would always end up making stuff to go in them. So this is quite good fun if you want to make some little things to go in there. So the jungle sheet, again, I've had this now for a couple of weeks, is also, I'm just going to go straight off the side here to make my life a bit easier, is also the width of a cake. So I did it so you could actually wrap it around a cake as well. So if you didn't want to use it in what I'm doing, you could always wrap it around a cake. So there's lots of things you can do. So we're going to cut you in half, Mr. Monkey, I'm afraid. But this is the medium size one. And actually, I bet you I could probably get a small one out of there as well, but we'll just do that one for now. So we'll pop that on there. So that gives us 2 different options there to do for that particular cake. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put on a little bit of the whipping it up. Now I need to find my palette knife. I bought a stash of palette knives because I'm always running out when I do my lives, and I still can't remember what I've done with them. In fact, I think some of them are still even on their packaging. So let's just get a new palette knife out so that we can be all flash and lovely. But I think I need about, you know, 100 Pritt sticks and a load of palette knives, because these are the kind of things that tend to go missing every single time I go anywhere near a live. Okay, so we're going to just take some of the whipping it up, just a little bit, don't need that much, pop it in there, put the cling film back down again. Just going to put a little bit of water in there. Let me go and get some. I'll just take this straight to the sink, hold on. So literally a little bit. And we're just going to turn this into a bit of a paste, just so we can stick the sugar paste to it. So it's only for the bottom half, it's not for the top half. You don't need to make it, I made it a little bit too runny. Let's add a bit more icing so it's not so runny. There you go, that's it. It's just something to stick it down with, and if you haven't got this, you know, if you're doing what I'm doing, you will have it, but if you haven't, piping gel works quite well. You can always use piping gel to do something like that. Right, let's pop those over there. Now let's get hold of some sugar paste. So we're not going to roll this really, really thick because we don't want great big chunky amounts of sugar paste on here. Now what have I got? I have got couture again. As you well know, I go between them all purely because I don't mind what I use, so it's whatever's available, to be perfectly honest. So we'll give this a go. I'm going to put that in there because otherwise that's just going to go everywhere. Let's move that out of the way. Oh, I think we froze them for a minute. We've had a few Wi-Fi issues in the last few days. Hopefully we're going again now. Yeah, we seem to be. Okay, right, and icing sugar. We'll just put a little bit down just to help us out a bit. And then we'll take our rolling pin and then we're just going to roll this out, but we're not going to make this mega thick because we don't need it to be. We just want this on here so that it's got a bit of a base for the picture to sit to. You can stick it straight to the cookie, but I don't think it sits as well as it does when it's on sugar paste. It's much easier. So we're going to do it on sugar paste because we can. So let's make it so that it's nice and, well, thinnish. So you should be able to see the flowers here. All good. Okay, when I looked up, the picture had frozen. I thought, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can you see my flowers through there? Okay, right, now what should we do next? So we'll take hold of this. Remember, you've got to take this plastic backing off, because if you don't take that off, you're going to eat it, and that's not going to be very nice. In fact, you'll find it quite difficult to stick if you try and do that. Let me get some water. I've not got my assistant Kelly with me today, so I'm running around myself. And then what I'm going to do, if I look at it like that, oh, you know what I've just done? I've just touched it with water. Don't do that, everybody. Don't do what I've just done, because otherwise I'm going to show you what happens actually. This may be a very large learning curve for everyone. If you get any water onto these, can you see? I'm going to show you exactly what happens. So you spill any water on these, it takes immediately takes the colour off. So when you use any discs like this under any circumstances, like don't go to the sink in the middle of a live, you will get water that strips this colour off. So you have to be very, very careful. And so on that basis, I'm just going to have to cut another one out because that's going to annoy me now. So let's choose a different design, preferably one with not a snake in it, because I don't like snakes. Let's find one with a nice happy something else in it. How about a hippo or something? That would be okay. So let's just sort that out. So we'll just go around that side. So moral of this story, whatever you do, don't put water anywhere near these edible prints because they fall off. And if they fall off, you can't use them, you can't repair them, you've had it. So I'm going to do it again. Right, okay. I've come off the side a little bit there, but that's all right. I'm not too worried about that because I can put lots of piping around that. So we're going to have a hippo one instead. We were going to have a monkey one, but the monkey one has been damaged by me live. That's okay, because then you all know not to do that. And then you know I'm human and not a robot doing this as well. Right, let's get rid of that because we don't like that because it's not nice and pretty and lovely. I want them all perfect, you see, because I'm fussy. So we'll take that off like so. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere near the water this time. Now, if I put that on there, where's my knife gone? There it is. What we can do is we can kind of narrow this down a little bit. So we can take this, and we know then we've only got to put water on sort of this section here, and then we can kind of trim that up. Like so. I hate snakes, I really do. I absolutely hate them. Oh my goodness, it's my worst fear. Closely followed by crocodiles. I'm not keen on them either. I'm not saying they're everybody's favourite, but oh no. Yeah, not good. Now it's got quite a bit of water on there, so what we'll do is we'll just take a bit of kitchen roll and just blot it. So we only want a little bit of water on here. We don't want too much, just enough to stick it down. And then we'll take hold of this and pop that on like so. There we go. So make sure you don't put your water on there. And then I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to trim it now. So I'll just trim that round the base. Oh, there we go. Let's get rid of those bits. Okay. So we've got a little cupcake case there, which I've managed not to damage. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm not fun. Oh, I can do snakes. Spiders, I can't do snakes at all. Absolutely awful. Yeah, not good. I am that person who runs away. Right, I'm just going to take some of the royal icing, so the whipping it up, and then what I'm going to do is just pop this onto my, look at this funky cupcake case now, which I have here. We'll leave that ready to decorate later on. So there you go. So that's that done for that one. Lovely. I'll pop that there, and then we'll bring the sugar paste back in again. We'll do the other one. And then we're going to do one slightly differently. So we're going to paint one. We're going to use some of these. So we're going to do lots of different things, really. Lots of different ideas. So then you can change then according to what it is that you like to do. We've got a daisy one of these as well. I couldn't find it before I came live, but there is a nice daisy one of this pattern, and we do it in a 2-pack. So you can get this one on its own, the other daisy on its own, or all of them together. And actually I've put a load of bundles on this morning where you can buy these cookie cutters with floral backgrounds and all sorts of things. So hopefully you'll find something. So again, don't forget to take the plastic backing off and use water rather than royal icing, except I've put the brush in the royal icing, or I've done something. Let's get another brush. Here we go. The sound is low when I look down. Just listen, I can't do any more tech. Oh, honestly, I cannot do any more tech. I'm up to my neck in tech as it is. I'll just talk louder. That would be the best solution for me. I've got the camera quite close to me today as well. Maybe I'll move over a little bit. There we go. Right, and then what we'll do is we'll just take this knife and then we'll just trim it along there like so. You can use one of those cutting wheel things as well. You don't have to use a knife. Plastic side scraper's a bit too thick for this. You do need a bit of a knife, bit of a sharp knife for this. Okay, there we go. So we've got the second one. So this is a slightly bigger one, this one. So we'll put it on this one that we had earlier. We'll just take our whipping it up and we'll just pop this on. There we go. Like so. Comparative wise, for anyone else who's got my cookie cutters, I'm going to just show you what the size difference is. So that's the biggest one there, and that's why you've got that on there like that. Does that make sense? Okay. Right, now let's pop this on here. like so. There we go. And then that's ready to go. So we'll pop that over there. So we've got one like that now. And then what we'll do is we're going to paint one as well. Of course we are, because it's me. We can't resist it. But I'm going to make this a little bit thicker because I don't particularly want this to be... I don't want to see the cookie particularly. So I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. Actually, I was going to do it. What colour was I going to do? I've got blue there. Have I got, what colour is that? Oh, I've got the colour left over from the other day. I don't really want that colour. Oh, I've got blue there. Oh, that's handy. Right, let's do a little bit of blue instead. Right, let's try this one. So we're going to just do a bit of painting on one as well. Of course we are. So we'll use this colour here, navy blue colour splash. Pop that in there. Is there anything coming out? I don't really want that much. That's why I'm being cautious with it, because I don't want it to be navy blue. I just want it to be like a powdery blue colour. It's actually quite good for that, because then it doesn't look too much. Right, let's give that a bit of a knead. Get that going through. See what we've got at the end. Because I'm going to paint pink on this. Of course I'm going to paint pink on it, because I haven't done any pink for a few days. So I'm having withdrawal symptoms. There we go. That's a nice powdery blue colour, isn't it? So that would be all right. Just when you put your cookies on here, just don't make the sugar paste too much. Just keep it nice and thin and then be fine. There we go. Okay. Roll that out. We're going to use the cutter this time. I could use the cutter last time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right. Let's do the big one with this, of course, because it's painting, so we'll definitely do a big one. So we'll pop that on there, and then we'll just give it a little wiggle. Oh, there we go. Just remember that, then we'll cut it straight. Could have done that earlier, actually, but never mind. And then we'll just cut it straight like that. And then we'll get hold of our large cutter. My friend did like her 80s cake that I did on a couple of weeks ago. I did another one yesterday. There seems to be a bit of a phase of 80s cakes going through at the moment. So, but I didn't take a picture of that one because I had so much to do. I took a picture of the bouquet because she had an 80s bouquet as well, but I was a bit on the stressed out side with the edible printer this week. So my photo opportunities yeah, sort of went out of the window. So anyway, yes, there we go. Right, so that's that. So we've got that one done, and that one done. Now let's just do a mini so you can see what one of these looks like as well. And what we'll do with this one, I've done the others already anyway, so you'll get to see those later on. It's not, you won't miss out on the royal iced ones. I'll show you those at the end because they're all done. And we'll just do a little one here. We'll do it in the same colour. We can have a little matching pair here. Or we could do a set of 3, couldn't we? They're quite nice for treat boxes as well. If anyone does like treat boxes and things, nice little decorated items, they don't take that long to do. I mean, I'm sort of faffing about here a little bit, but I'm on a live, so I can. But if you wanted to do them really quickly, you would just literally whiz through all of them very quickly. Yeah, Karen Davis marshmallow sugar paste would be very nice. I'm sure that would be great on here. Something like that. By the time you've used your whipping it up icing sugars and all sorts of things to make them in the first place, I'm sure they'll taste very nice. And then we'll just pop a little bit more on there, like so. And we'll grab the other one, pop that there. Oh, I missed that one as I went, didn't I? Oh no, I've managed it, that's okay. There's no icing sugar on my table, so it sort of went a bit funny. There we go. Right, let's pop that on there. Move it over a little bit. So we've got 3 from a set, so that's fine. We'll keep those together. There we go. Right, let's move everything out of the way for a second. Right, so I look on here. I always look very disorganised in comparison to Karen. Who seems to do everything beautifully. With me, it's always a bit all over the place. Right, okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to paint the bases of the blue ones, and then we can do the decorating bit at the top. So we're going to do some cocoa butter painting. So we have got, I'm going to bring these ones back in again, and we're going to paint some patterns onto these. So nice and basic, nothing too complicated, nice and straightforward. Oh, actually, I know what I was going to do. I was going to do one in white. Let me just do that quickly. That will become apparent why I've done that, because I need that for painting as well. So let me do that one quickly. We'll backtrack just a minute. There we go. I'm sure there are lots of cookie recipes available on the Sugar and Crumbs page. I'm sure they will have done cookies before. So if you, I think they've got a dedicated Facebook page. I'm sure Nikki will find it there. You must buy a what? A dredger or a smedger. You need both, a dredger and a smedger. This is a dredger and this is a smedger. There must be a poem in there somewhere, I reckon. Right, okay, let's just do this one. I'm just backtracking a minute because I want to paint this one up later. Right, and again, just cut the bottom off and put it on here. There we go. See, I'm speeding up a little bit now because I've already shown you that bit. So I've got a white one as well. Okay, right, let's move that out of the way. Sugar paste gone. Right, let's bring in the cocoa butter. So for those of you that haven't seen this before, this is cocoa butter painting. And I've got here a chrome food warmer with a tea light. Now the tea light creates the heat, which heats up the metal paint palette, which then in turn melts the cocoa butter. Always the moment I hate, because I always end up breaking matches and doing all sorts of things. These are honestly, come on, cooperate, there we go. 4 attempts later, we're there. That's fine. Okay, now what we're going to do then is we're going to put our metal paint palette on top of there. I'm just cleaning off the remains of the colour that I'd cleaned out earlier. There we go, nice and clean. So we'll put on here the cocoa butter. Now cocoa butter is a hard product. This is what it looks like. Okay, and then what you do is you pop it on here and it melts. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to put a little bit on there and that's going to melt. And whilst that's melting, you'll see it because this is going to get hot. We're going to put some colours on here. So today we're going to use, what should we use? Rose, that's fine. Let's use rose, pop that in there. And then we'll use, what else we got? White, we need white. You always need white. Make sure I don't get it on top of these. Okay, bit of white and spring green will be fine. Do we want spring green? Yeah, we'll do it. Let's just do it, we'll be fine. So think about cupcake cases. There's so many different designs. There are just loads. There's leopard print ones. There's ones with bunting on them. There are so many that you can paint. It's a little bit like coffee cup part 2 with me and these cookies, because you know we've been doing coffee cups for the last few weeks with lots of different designs. This, for the actual base of this, is the same kind of thing. So you can actually do lots and lots of different things. Just go and have a look online and put in cupcake. So I'm just trying to find a paintbrush here. Here we go. Just put in there, you know, whatever it is that you're looking for. And believe you me, you'll find so many different cupcake cases, and you can make them by doing this on this cookie thing. Right, I know I need a spoon. Do you know what? If I had it, I wouldn't be able to find it. This is the problem. So I use paintbrushes with numbers on them. So this is paintbrush 0, 2, what have we got here? There's another 2 actually, and number 1. I'm going to actually use a cross between 0 and 1 this morning. I'm going to get rid of the rest to do my painting. So when I teach my painting, I always refer back to the numbers. So I'll say we're now using paintbrush 1 or paintbrush 0. So depending on what it is that we're doing, that's how I teach my classes. So all my paintbrushes refer back to whatever it is that I'm doing. I'm just making myself some space here as I'm running out. There we go. So you can see it's melting on there already. And then what we're going to do, we are going to bring this one in. We're going to paint just a little rose design on here. Let's keep it nice and simple. So little roses. We've done this before on live on different things. So I'm just going to put my paintbrush in there and just check there's no colour in there. So I'll just put it into there and just clean it up on my kitchen roll just to check. So I'm going to pick up some rose, give it a bit of a mix and grab some white and tone it, lighten it up. I shouldn't say tone it down, lighten it up. We need Kelly here, the queen of colour, Kelly. So my daughter Kelly, she's doing a Facebook live class on colour theory. So if you want to learn more about colour theory, and everyone will go, yeah, I don't want to do that. Well, colour theory is actually really important because it's going to help you be able to put your cakes together. So if someone says to you, you know, my colour scheme is blue, purple, whatever, you're going to be able to work out where to put those colours, where to put the strong colours and the weak colours and all this kind of thing, and how to mix your colours as well. So that class is available and it's on my website. There you go. No, Nikki's not put that up. She's put the one up about paintbrushes. So she'll put the link up for you, I'm sure, though she probably can't find it. It's on Tracey Mann Cake School. I'll just quickly stick that up there for you for a second. So if you want to join Kelly, Kelly's my daughter, for colour theory. She is superb. She's better than me, so we're all going to be learning from Kelly. We've got a Facebook Live coming up on Monday the 10th of May. It starts at 6:30, finishes at 8 o'clock, so that you can then join Sugar and Crumbs and follow their live as well. So you won't miss out on Sugar and Crumbs that evening as well. So there you go. I know quite a lot of you have signed up for it already. It's going towards Kelly's travel. So every penny that's spent on that will be going on Kelly. Right, so all I'm going to do now is I'm just literally just going to put some really bad circles, is probably the easiest way to describe this, onto here. If I said to you, please now put a circle on here, you won't get one. You'll get a sort of a ropey one, but that's actually what we want, so that's all right. We can do that. So we're just going to literally go over this like so. And they don't have to be the same size either. I'll put that one in a funny place there. They can also be off the edge. So if you want to do one that's sort of a little bit half on, half off, you can do that. Doesn't really matter. Just put them wherever. There we go. I'm just literally just going round and round like that. And then they'll start to dry quite quickly. So you can move them around, put in as many as you want. If I lift that up there, you'll be able to see what it is that I've done there. So just some circles, and we'll do this one as well. We'll do them all at the same time, and then I can show you how quick they are to do. So again, and you can always scale these down as well, because this one is a little bit smaller. You might want to put slightly smaller roses or slightly different arrangements. Mind you, let's try and do, why don't we do a set of 3 or something on this one? Yeah, we'll put these in 3s, although I've messed that one up there, haven't I? Okay, well, let's put another one here. So you could do them in sets if you want to do something a bit different. Think Kath Kits and everybody. Have a look at what she does. There we go. We'll put some in a 3 and some single ones as well. And then this little one here, we could just do some little tiny ones instead. Just some little dinky ones. Don't make them too big. Little mini ones. This really is quite small, this cutter, but it's fun. I like little tiny cutters like this. I think they're great. There we go. Now I haven't actually set them too high against my sugar paste. Can you see I've left a bit of a gap, because when I start piping it's going to overlap this. So if I've got flowers right up at the top here, they're going to get covered. So you do need to set them back a little bit, just so that, so if you set them down there a little bit, you'll find it will sit a little bit better. Now these will have dried pretty much already, because it's not that warm at the moment. So let's move those around. Now what I'm going to do is just take a darker colour. I'm actually going to switch brushes because that brush is a bit too big. I'm just going to get some rose colour. Make it neat, or near enough neat. I'm really not going to make this very complicated, and as I say, I've done this a few times on Sugar and Crumbs. I'm going to paint this and pick it up, because it's quite difficult for you to see because it can be a bit far away. But all I'm doing is some sort of, you'll be able to see, is like some little backward C's that basically end up creating a rose. So I'll pick it up so you can have a look at it. It's a very basic. If I hold that up now, you'll be able to see exactly what it is that's going. Can you see? Like so. Hopefully, if I get a little bit closer. be able to see what it is that I've done. So I've literally just gone round the middle like a little spiral. I do need to make this a bit stronger actually, because it's not coming up particularly dark, and then back round the other way, just kind of loop them, and you can just end up with a little kind of rose. It's nothing particularly technical. It's very quick to do. It's even quicker if the colour is cooperating. So you just do that. There we go. I'll bring them up so you can see again. Okay. And then once the leaves and things go on, they'll change again. So it's just a case of keeping going for the moment. So we'll go round again. So I'll paint all of this one up. So I'm using paintbrush 0. I'm keeping my paintbrush upright so I get some sort of fairly thinnish lines. I'm going round in a spiral at the start and then kind of interlocking them like so. So it's quite quick. So you don't want to be here forever and a day. It's a biscuit, you know. So if anyone's trying to do this commercially or thinking, gosh, I've got, I don't know, 25 of these to do, you don't want to be sat here forever doing this. So it's quite nice to have a bit of a pattern that's quite easy to put together quite quickly. And you would paint them en masse as well. You wouldn't just do one cookie and then start again. You would do all of them, the little round pink dot. Then you would turn it back and do the next bit, which is what I'm doing now. So you would just make your way through them en masse. Unless, of course, you're only doing 1 or 2. In that case, you can spend as long as you like over them, can't you? But you can kind of see the idea that's coming on there. All right, so I'm just going to run that through onto these as well, because what I would like to do is try and get a set of them together at the end so we can see what they look like as a set. So let's run that over there as well, because again, it doesn't take that long. So round we go. I've gone for this kind of powdery blue type colour because it against the white, because I'm going to have white icing up here and I'm going to have some sprinkles and various things as well shortly, so you'll see all that come together. I didn't want to have a white case and pattern. I wanted to have something quite different down here, reflecting kind of the Cupcake Designs cases that you can get. Okay, that's why I've done it. There are reasons, you know. There's normally a reason why I've done these things like that. And just because it says navy on the packet doesn't mean to say you need to make it navy. You can make it a nice powder blue colour. And I think that colour is actually really nice. So colour, what did I say it was called? Colour Splash Navy. So have a look out for that one. And less is more with that one. Okay. So I've got the grouped ones here as well. Now I always think with this stage, they never look that much until you put the leaves on. So once we get the leaves on, then it will transform it completely. So there we go, got a little group thing going on here. And absolutely, Nick has just said, if it goes wrong, you can eat the evidence. And we like that. If in doubt, oh, that one went wrong, you can eat it. I have to say, these are fatal for me if they're lying around, really bad. So as soon as Kelly's made them, I have to decorate them as soon as possible, because then once I've decorated them, you see, I need them for work, so then I stop eating them. So, and even when I finish the live, I don't then suddenly launch into them and start eating them, because I might need them again. So I try not to. Cookies do last quite a period of time as well, so you don't need to eat them on the day or anything. You can sort of make them in advance. There we go. So we've got a little mini one there, you can see. Very sweet. Right, let's clean the brush up. And then before I launch into doing the leaves on that, I'm going to just see if this will work. I'm sure it will. We have got a luster colour here called Iced Pink Sorbet. Now the luster colours, she says, because I didn't test it earlier actually, I might just switch to that brush. What is that one? No, I won't. I'll stick with this one. What's this one? Oh no, we use this one, brush 3. The luster colours normally cover really, really well, so you get really good finish on something like this. We're going to just do an Iced Pink Sorbet one. So Iced Pink Sorbet is a really nice luster colour, so we're going to grab that and we're going to grab some of the Ice Pink colour.
It's got a sprinkle in there. How did that get in there? I was thinking that's a great big load of dust, but it's not. It's a sprinkle, little heart sprinkle there. I've obviously been doing something. Okay. All right. And then if you want to cover something like this with the cocoa butter, you can literally just go straight across it like this. Let's make sure we've got a bit more. This is a nice candy pink colour, this one. So if you didn't want to colour your sugar paste and you just fancied doing a bit of a luster on top, so you know, like gold cupcake cases, so that works really well for doing something like this. So if you want nice gold ones, I know Carol's got lots of this Wonder Dust stuff that's come out. I'm sure that that would work really well. And then just make sure you paint the sides, because you've got you can see sugar paste down the side of it as well, so you just need to run it under there. But that's very quick coverage, isn't it? And it's very very easy and nice and shiny as well. It's going to dry, but it will dry with a luster colour. So whereas you look at this one versus this one, this is luster and this is matte, so you've got two completely different finishes there. So that's Ice Pink Sorbet, very nice colour, very quick to do, and it will dry really quickly. So we'll just leave that to it for the moment. Okay, let's do some leaves. So again, I'm just going to use Paintbrush Zero. Let me just check I've got nothing in it. I've got pink in it still. Let's get rid of that. Grab some of the Spring Green, which is a nice limey green colour, and then we'll just put some white in it to brighten it up. There we go. Don't want it to be too bright, but we'll lighten it up a little bit. Let's see what we get. We'll do it on this one first. So all I'm going to do is just literally create some little petal shapes either side. Yeah, that's nice. It's quite nice and spring-like as well. Lots of the cakes I've been doing recently have been very spring-like. The one I did on Tuesday, if you missed that one, you can watch it on Catch Up, which was a Floral Garland one. Again, there was a little bit of painting, a little bit of sort of cutout going on there with some blossoms, and then I then piped, so we did some royal icing on there, so it's quite a full-on cake, that one. And again, if you miss it, you can always watch it on here, or you can go onto YouTube and you'll find it on my YouTube channel as well, so you never miss out. So there you go. Right, so if I pick that up, you'll be able to see what's happening there. So we've got a few little leaves going in there. And just try not to line them all up. I think I picked up a bit of pink there, yes I did. Try not to line them up. See if you can sort of put some either side, but so they're not going in rows too much. Mine are a little bit in rows, but not horrendous. It's fine. But you can have a play around with this, can't you, when you get time? I'm sure you're all going to come up with some amazing designs that will be much more probably thought out than mine at the moment. There you go, so you kind of end up with something like that. I'm going to let that dry for a minute, because I'm actually going to come back and do something else with that to turn it into a bit more into a cupcake. You'll see what I mean with the case in a second. Now we'll just put a few leaves in here. So we've got sets of 3 here, so we'll do sets of 3 leaves. Just tuck them in wherever we go. So something like that. I'll put a little one there, a little one over there. There you go. And perhaps another one there. So 3s and 1s on that one. There you go. And then this little one here, because it's very small, we'll just do single little leaves. Maybe, I don't know yet. We'll start and then we'll change my mind probably. And we'll do some 2s as well. Little tiny ones. But you can fiddle around with this and do what you like, can't you? There we go. So something like that. Okay. And then I would be tempted, because this is me to a T, to put some little white dots on it, because I tend to find that really lightens everything up. So we'll go back, grab our zero brush and just mix up some white paint. So just get some white cocoa butter here. Make sure it's nice and thick, because we want to be able to see it. And then all I'm going to do is just put some little dots I'm hoping they're going to dry for what I want to do next, so fingers crossed. And we'll just put them in little threes. I'll hold it up so you can see it. If you can't see it on screen, you will be able to in a second. Just give me a minute just to do it. Like so. Cool. You can either kind of put them round sort of individually, or you can put them, there we go, that's better. You can see a bit better now what I've done. You can either put them individually or in little groups then, can't you? So something along those lines. So let's do that with the rest of them. So with this one here, I think what we'll do is we'll just, yeah, I've got them in threes, little triangle of three. Just looks sweet, I think. This little one is looking dearer and dearer by the minute. I'm loving you. Yeah, very sweet. All right, let's go over to the big one. Now, while I've been doing all of this, the Ice Pink Sorbet one is now completely dry. So we're going to paint, I'm going to paint some leopard print or something on it, just so you've got some contrast here. We've got some lots of interesting designs going on today. We've got a bit of everything, not just country, but not just Cath Kitson. We've got a bit of leopard, a bit of jungle. I think you realise there's a lot of possibility with this. Plus, I've got my royal iced ones as well, which I'll show you those in a second. There's lots you can do with this. There we go. So we've done those three there like that. So as a set, they look really quite pretty together, don't they? I think they do. And then with this one, on the basis I can find black. Let's have a look what we've got in my little box. Perfect. I've got some black dusting colour here, so I'm just making sure I don't drop this because there's a high chance I will. And I'll just pop a little bit of that on there. Turn that around. Let's move those out of the way for the moment, and we'll bring this one in. I think my Cookie Queen's on. She may well be. Gillian, my Cookie Queen, is on my Royal Icing course. She's very good. She's done lots and lots of cookies. She's very much embraced it. So yeah, here we go, Gillian. This is dedicated to you, this live. Right, so we mix some black here. And leopard print is basically made up of sort of really bad C shapes. That's all I can describe it as. So you kind of just get your brush and you just kind of put it like that. You almost tuck it round as far as you can go. But the joy of this is that actually you can do it really badly and it doesn't matter. So there's no sort of painting, you're kind of just squashing your brush down a little bit really here. But this looks very nice over the Ice Pink Sorbet, I think. So any luster colours give you a really nice kind of base. This is for all you out there that like leopard print. Me being one of them, I do like leopard print. And you can go towards the edge as well. So if it goes off the edge, that's fine. No problem. It looks more real, actually, if you do go off the edge. I'll just thicken that one up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I think Gillian's hooked too. I've got, is it Doe Griffin? She's addicted to cake. She's addicted to cake painting. This is going to set her off even more. It's so funny. Every time I see her posts, I'm being blamed for her addictions. Oh dear. Also as well, going back to Tuesday night when I was making that other cake, I used patchwork cutter. It was called, I've got it here actually next to me, unbelievably, called Entwined Rose. And you could emboss this as well, and you could paint that little rose there on the bottom and have that on a cupcake case. So that's quite a nice little one, that. So if you did get one, then you could do that. I've just actually had a delivery from Patchwork Cutters, which makes me very happy. So not only have my printer inks turned up this morning, but so have my patchwork cutters. So now I have got a lot to do this afternoon to play catch up for the week. So fingers crossed we can get everything printed and everything sorted today, and that would make my day, I think. So yeah, iced pink sorbet and black. You can see it coming across now. It's quite effective, isn't it? And you could also do leopard print. You can literally just go across with leopard. No, zebra. I meant zebra, not leopard. This is leopard. Zebra print. There's another one you can do quite easily. There we go. Nearly there. Again, doesn't take very long. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? It's nice to be able to have some designs you can adapt. There you go. So that's the leopard print one there. Okay, so that's leopard print. We've done roses. We've got the cutout ones over there. And as I said to you before, you can take hold of this and you could just push that in there, and that will give you a little rose there that you can use. There's also in the blossom and leaf set some very small blossoms that you could paint onto these, little tiny ones. I'm looking around to see if I've got one, but I don't think I have in sight. Let me see what I've got. No, I've got, I know what I could do though quickly. I'll show you what I mean with this. So you can take this one here. Let's move that out of the way. So this is some of the sugar paste I had the other night. So it's like a sort of a caramelly colour. It's not white. I said to you, keep all your sugar paste if you dye it up a colour, because you can always use it for something else. And lo and behold, here we are. So you can always roll this out. Like so. And then we've got a medium one left, so that's what we'll have to do. We can take that, cut it out, get rid of that, and then cut it across the bottom. Get my whipping it up, put it on here. Now I would emboss it while it's in place. I don't think I would emboss it and then put it on the cookie. I think I'd put it on first. Well, that's what I'm going to do. Then emboss it, because then you're kind of pushing it into place. The problem is if you then emboss it and move it, you're likely to stretch the paste. So it's going to be easier to do it like that. But you could sort of take hold of this here. Why don't we put that about to there? Let's see what happens. I haven't actually done this before on this case, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I can't see why it won't be. There you go, look at that. And then we can just use what colours we've got today. We'll just paint that up quickly. So nice little case there. What have I got here? Paintbrush 1. So again, we can just take our colour and just paint that. So you can make a little floral cupcake case for this one. Just take note with that. That is actually the calyx there, so don't include that as being part of the paint. Okay, so that there is actually the calyx. All right, it's not part of this. So that's the pink bit and that's the green bit. All right, let's just change again. Yeah, they're not, I find, and patchwork cutters are not the easiest things to cut out, but they're fantastic embossers. And they really, really help with painting on a massive scale. Now, I've been teaching beginners painting online, a floral course, but it's, you know, I wanted to give people an opportunity to just have a go, get a paintbrush in your hand and just have a go. And this is a really good way to get started. And then if you like that, you can join the course then, can't you? There you go. So that's nice and easy, isn't it? And quick. That looks quite nice very quickly. There you go. All right, now in my mind, because it's always in my mind, I have this idea that if I then take hold of a knife and I mark it across here, I will get that kind of ribbed cupcake look. But I haven't actually done this in real life, so I don't know what it's actually going to do. So I'm going to just try, but the idea was to rock it, oh yeah, that's fine, like so, once it was all dry, and then make this a bit more realistic, you see, a bit more like a cupcake case rather than just something really flat. So I was then, once it's all painted, you can't do this until it's painted, just go across this like so. There you go. See, I think that looks more realistic. I'm going to lift that up then and you'll see what I mean. I think that's better myself. That's personally what I like. Slightly different on the other ones because I can't do that on the paper ones because obviously that's a fixed shape. The only thing I can do with this, if I wanted to change it, is I could pipe some lines down there, or I could draw some lines if I wanted to. But actually I really like the pattern. I think it detracts from it, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm only going to do this on the sugar paste ones. So I'm putting my knife in and I'm just kind of rocking it. I'm not cutting sort of right through. I'm spacing them apart, as you can see. There you go. Yeah, everyone thinking this is a good idea? I think it looks better myself for this. Now, you could have had all the cupcake cases sort of all, you know, serrated, you know, like they're serrated edges cupcakes, but I didn't do that. The reason I didn't do that is because I'm going to cover this with icing in a minute and there's just no point. It's a total waste of time. If you think about a cupcake, you actually don't see that bit anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to do that. But I think that actually looks quite good. But please note the paint has to be dry. It's really important the paint's dry, otherwise you're going to find it's going to lift as you go. So we'll do it with all of them, the sugar paste ones anyway. Okay. And just make sure that it's well and truly stuck down, because otherwise it will lift. Everybody likes this. You see, you've all come alive now. There you go. Okay, so you can see that there. I think it looks better. So let me hold those up there and then you can see what it is that you look like. You're all jumping up and down now, you see. Thought you might. Now, I've just done black with that, so I'm just going to quickly wipe it, because what I don't want to do is if I've got any black residue on there, I don't want to transfer it over to this. So I'm going to do this one as well. Might as well do them all, mightn't we? Okay, so we'll go across here. You can hear them sort of moving a little bit as I'm cutting them. Every so often it's picking up. Okay, same there as well. All right, so that then makes it look okay, lovely. Happy with those. That is good. It's all good news. Right, let's now do some piping with them, and then we can have a look at the royal icing ones as well that I did earlier today. What did I do with the piping bag? There it is. Right, let's get the piping bag out, and what we'll do is we'll pop an adapter in. And we'll just cut that off like so. And we'll pop this in. Goes through. Now we'll just put this nozzle on here. So Wilton 18 is a good nozzle. I'm going to have to vary my sizes a little bit. Actually, I forgot about that before I went live. This is Wilton 18. You can also use... I didn't mention the dreaded 42 numbers because we've been having a nightmare trying to get those, but you can use PME 43. I've got some limited amounts of 43C and 44C on my website, but PME, they all seem to be stuck on the ship somewhere, quite honestly, at the moment. So there are a limited number of these, so if you do want to have a go at this, have a look on the website. 43 and 43C are the same size, but it's 43C just means this nozzle here is more closed. I can't really describe it as anything else other than that. So it kind of closes in a little bit. This one is a 43, so it's standing up a little bit more, but it just means the nozzle is tilting in a little bit. Nothing more technical than that, really. So there you are. Right, so let's put some of this whipping it up in that we made earlier. And if you missed that, you will have to go back and watch it at the start, but it's royal icing. I always feel like I need an extra pair of hands when I'm doing something like this. Whoop. Now my royal ices will know that don't overfill your bag because it will drive you crazy otherwise. So just put in enough to start with. You can always go back and add more.
Now, if anyone's thinking, oh, I could do this with buttercream, there is one thing that's going to happen. Hopefully you've worked it out, and that is the fact this will not survive buttercream because it will never set. This will set. Now, if you want to make sure your royal icing doesn't set really, really hard, then what you need to do is just add a teaspoon of glycerin, and then that will stop it setting completely hard so that when someone bites through it, it doesn't crack their teeth or anything like that. So royal icing with a little bit of glycerin, and we're talking about a teaspoon, nothing more than that, will help matters. So you should be able to do that. Right, let's start with this big one here because that's what I've geared this up for. Now, I'm going to add some sprinkles. I need to get myself organised before I do this. So I've got these ones here. Now these are called candy floss, I think they're called. Little tiny heart ones that I'm going to put on here. So I'm going to have these ready because if I don't, I'm not going to be prepared, and then I'll be hunting around for them at the last minute. So I'm going to just tip a few out, put them next to me, so that they're ready. I've got a few other sprinkles around as well, but this is the one I'm going to use for this. And then all I'm going to do is take hold of my bag. Now you can start at the top or start at the bottom, but I'm just going to start here, and I'm just going to do some little kind of rosettes like so. Okay, now it may be that my bag is in the way while I'm doing this, so I'll try and move it around as best as I can. You'll probably see it at certain points. I'm going to turn that there. The glycerin is an edible product, yes. And glycerin has been around for years, forever. Okay, you buy it in the supermarkets, go into the baking aisle and you'll find it in there. So what's happened here then, you see I've dropped it down slightly so that it's now covering the top of that case. So there's no point in doing a sharp edge like that. Waste of time, waste of your time. So you don't want to do that. And then I'm going to follow this through like so. So I'm just literally just doing little circles, like little mini rosettes, you know, like you do on cupcakes, but we're doing this in royal icing. And then what you want to try and do, if you can, is sort of push them together so that you don't end up with any gaps. So eventually you'll kind of go between them. And it's a cupcake. I mean, honestly, don't lose too much sleep about it. Just have a bit of fun with it. So there we go. We've got that there looking like that. And then you can take hold of some of these little hearts here. Look at this, look. And you can, well, actually, look, whenever I've got a gap, I'm just going to put a little heart there. That's going to solve a whole load of issues, isn't it, for me? So I'll pop those in like that. There we go. I'm going to just use the pink ones so that they really stand out, I think. There, I'll put one on the top, like so. And I haven't actually pushed them in flat, I've just let them stand a little bit like that. So there you go. I'm just going to lift that up so you can see that there. Okay, we tip it that way. So you can add a few more bits if you want. I mean, you could even go completely mad and put some finishing sparkle onto it. We could all turn glittery, couldn't we? And have some of that on there as well. I'm just seeing if I've got my finishing sparkle. I have. Oh gosh, I'm so organised this morning, it's hideous. So finishing spray or finishing sparkle here. So if you wanted them to be a little bit glittery, oh my God, look at this. This is just lovely. That is just lovely. And you can always cover that bit there as well. So if you only wanted it on that part of the icing, you could just do that and put your hand over there. So let me hold that up so you can see it. Hopefully when I move it around, you'll see it twinkling a little bit. Right, let's do the others because I want a matching set here so that when I put it on my YouTube channel, it all looks like it belongs together. So we'll start again. So again, we'll just vary the size of these. Now, I'm going to try and use the same nozzle for all three because I want them to match. But if you find that it's getting a bit too big, then you can switch down to one of these smaller nozzles. But this is Wilton 18, so it's quite a nice size, this one. It does really nice little rosettes, I think. So it's a good one to have. So we'll move our way across here. And we'll get up here like so. There we go. And then we'll go back. Now you need to stick the sprinkles on while everything is still wet. Otherwise you're going to find that when you come to do it, it's going to be a pain. You're going to have to add in extra icing and all this stuff, and it's a bit of a faff. That's why I said to you, make sure everything's ready before you get started. And don't put on too many, just put on enough and be a bit picky with your colours and cover your gaps and all this sort of thing.
like I do. I'll put one on the top there. There we go. Not that one because that's not pink. I want that one there. Okay, so we've got 2. So we've got a nice little set going on here now. Oh, we've got the glitter. Very important. Right, so if we just cover that like so, and then we'll just literally put that on there like that. Oh, this is too good. Okay. Love it. I love it. Right, I'm going to put a bit more icing in my bag. I'm just going to move this over here because I think I'm getting a bit low here. So let's get some more in there. Do we like? Gorgeous. Absolutely. Lovely. That's what we want. Hope I've got enough icing here to do it all. Actually, I may have cut myself a bit short here, but it doesn't matter. We'll get through it all somehow. Right, I'm actually going to take that piece of cling off now. I don't need that anymore. I need my other spatula really. I may have to leap across the room and get it in a second. Right, I'm just going to put that there. Okay, let's do this last one of this set, which we are now loving. And let's just make sure there's no air in there. Squeeze that. There we go. Otherwise that'll explode halfway through. So I'm probably just going to have a little, yeah, I can just about get away with this. I would really have liked this to be of the same nozzle, so I'm pleased with this. Okay, so again, just little tiny ones. Just don't squeeze the bag so hard and you'll get less icing coming through, but you'll still get the same effect. Okay, so then you, now what we've got here, so I've got that one there. So again, we probably only need about 3 on here for this. I need another pink one. I've only got white ones left, but I want to keep those for something else. So let's pop that one on top there. So I'm just going to put 3 on that one, and then it kind of makes a bit more sense. I'm going to have to put an extra one on that other one because there's not enough on there as far as I'm concerned. It needs one more. There we go. Oh, lovely. Right, again, just, this could not be better, I don't think. There we go. So that's 3 little ones there, so painted and just loveliness all together like that. I will be taking pictures of these so you can see this at the end. So I'll put them on there. Now let's move these out of the way because I don't want to knock them. So they're fabulous, aren't they? I'm going to just pick one. I'll pick the little one up so you can see just how tiny it is and how pretty it is. Literally a mouth-sized cookie. How much fun is that? It looks cool, doesn't it? So let's pop that on there. All right. Oh, Kelly will approve. Right, let's bring this one in here. So we'll do the same. You can do sorts of other different patterns. I mean, you could do, I haven't even thought about doing that, but you could. I don't see why not. Let's see how that works. So you could go backwards and forwards if you prefer that look. So you can always do that in rows, just as long as you fill it up to the point where it turns like that. Yeah, look at that, works okay. And we'll do that again. So there's another way of doing it if you wanted to do it like that, if you feel more comfortable doing it like that. And then just a little bit on the top there. Like so. So if you fancied doing a different pattern like that, you could. And then again, we'll go back to our sprinkles. We'll just do some, I've got some little white ones here now, some pearlescent white. So we'll stick those on. Going for more subtle vintage here, you see. And subtle is quite, is what we've been following at the moment, isn't it? We've done quite a lot of this kind of, there we go, look at that. So this is, I say, called Candy Floss, this sprinkle. And it's a combination of white, pink, what did I say? White, pink, and, or 2 shades of pink, actually. There you go. So you've got that nice little one there. You could always put a pink one on the top, couldn't you? Let's take that one off for a second. Let's have a rejig here and put a little tiny pink one up there. So you could always do that. So you've got something there slightly different. So there we go. That's that one. All right, let's move that one out of the way. Now let's do, should we do the leopard print one? Yeah, let's do the leopard print one. So again, with this one, we'll go back to doing some of the rosettes. They're ever so quick. You know, you're not going to be sort of sitting here going, oh no, it's going to take forever. I'm going to show you how quick they are. They're really quick to do. All you need to do is make sure they dry before you pack them. So when you've done this, they're going to need 24 hours to pack before you pack them to make sure it's completely dry. All right, see, it's very straightforward. Now I've got some stars here. Let's put some stars on this one. We'll do something slightly different here. So I've got some little mini stars. Now, what colours should we have? Because this is where I'm going to start getting fussy. Now, we're going to have pink ones, obviously. So we'll put some little pink stars on there. So we've got star sprinkles as well, but you have to, if you want certain colours, you have to kind of go through them until you find the ones you want. So that's quite good. So that was a pale pink one, but that's all right, I don't mind that. I'll put another one up there. So maybe stars or hearts, it doesn't really matter, does it, for this? Anything is fine. And another pink one there. Okay, there we go, so that's cool. There's another little one there, isn't it? So that's a bit of fun. Right, okay, let's bring in our two that we did at the start with the paper. Let's move those out of the way. Now we'll do, I've got some slightly different sprinkles. Let's do this one first. So we'll do is we'll get this and then we'll go round. Now you can go over the paper, so the paper's not going to be affected by the royal icing. All right, even though it's got water in it, it won't rip off the colour. It's just going to set next to it. So don't worry about going over the paper. You'll be fine. No problem with that. There you go, very quick. And then I've got these little ones here. And then what we'll do is we'll put some, what are these called? Rainbow something or other. They're on my website anyway, I can't remember what half of this stuff's called, I forget. And inconveniently, it's on the bottom. Party strands. Okay, so there we go, make that one a little bit more sort of I don't know, fun, I suppose. And then this one, we'll do this one. This is a big one. Am I going to have enough icing to do this? Let me get some more. My bag is going down. So I've used a fair amount of whipping it up to do these. So you will need a fair amount to do it if you're piping it thick. If you flood things, you don't need as much. So let me pop that in there like that. So what I've tried to do is I've tried to make a few little kits here and there so that you can kind of get the cutters, get a bit of icing, have a go and see how you get on with it. So I've tried to give you a few different options. So if you don't want to paint, you can do this. If you want to paint, then you can do what I've done over there. And I've also got my royal icing ones, which I haven't shown you yet, which I'll bring in at the end, and you can have a look at those. And there will be 2 videos going up onto YouTube over the next 2 days. One will be this, and then this one will go up first, and then the royal icing one will go up as soon as I've edited it, because I filmed it over the last couple of days of me making these royal ice cookies, so you'll be able to see how that's done. It's all fairly straightforward. This is quite cottagey, I think, this one. Cottage core, I was going to say. It's very kind of... See, it's nice. I like it. I've impressed myself, so I must be okay. I'm so fussy, it's unbelievable. So if I'm happy with them, then it is a miracle. Right. Now, I don't want stars on this because that's just going to be too much. So we're going to go back to our little candy floss hearts again because they're really quite sweet, aren't they? And we'll tuck those in into the icing there. Yeah, I think they're the right colour for this. I don't think those would look right on this. I think it needs to be. So when you do this, and if you've got the papers on here, just think about what you're going to put as sprinkles before you pipe, because the minute you've got that icing on there, you've got to get those sprinkles on. So don't go into this unless you've thought about exactly what it is that you're going to do, and then you can be nice and prepared. The white ones don't show up particularly well on the white icing, so if you decide to use white sprinkles, maybe do a slightly caramelly colour icing or a completely different colour, red or something, There's all sorts of things you could do there. I mean, this again, a bit like the coffee cup that I did the other week, has got infinite possibilities. And it was the minute I started thinking about the cupcake cases that I started to think, hold on a minute, this makes sense now. So you can see just kind of all the different things that you can do. So this is the sugar paste one. So everything that I've done on this live is all sugar paste, but I'm going to show you the royal ice ones in a minute and what I did and why I've cut out the bases and done various things. So we have got here papers that you can cut out and put on there to make nice little bases, and then obviously you've got your whipping it up on here that we've turned into royal icing, and then we've added sprinkles on there, and I've painted some and I've done some on cut out bases. Let me bring these over for a second. I'm being really careful because the icing is wet and I don't want to end up knocking them at this point because I need these to dry, so I won't be touching these for the next day or so. They'll sit here until they're dry. Let me just move these sprinkles out of the way, seal them back up again for another day and bring those in. So there you go. So that's all the ones that I've painted or whatever I've done. So we've done papers there like that. There we go. I've got a nice set there. I'm very happy with this little set. I'm going to put these together actually. It's like a little jigsaw puzzle going on here. So look at those, loveliness. And then this one here, very cottagey. Slightly different piped pattern on there as well, isn't there? So there you go. So there's lots of different ideas for sugar paste. So let's have a look at the royal icing ones. So we've done a combo here of sugar paste and royal icing. So with the royal ices, these are the flooded ones that I've done. So I've got another tray coming over now. And you can hear my cup in the background because we're going to need that later on. So these are the royal iced ones. So these are the ones I've been doing over the last couple of days, and I've filmed it, so you will be able to see how this is done. So again, I've flooded them, and as I've flooded them, I've put the sprinkles straight into place. So this one here is confetti, it's called sprinkles. I've done some where I've flooded the cases straight away and put them on as dots. So this is called wet on wet technique. And again, I've put the what are they called? I keep forgetting now. Party strands, that's it, onto there as well. I've also piped little red dots there on top, so that's quite fun as well. And I've done some little ones, so kind of that belongs together as a little set. And then we've got, I did a star one there. There's some missing because they were the ones that were filmed this morning, so it's a little bit all over the place, but there you go, that's a little set there as well. But this is going to be on a separate video, so you will see that coming up shortly. And then I'm going to show you why I cut the base out of these. So for those that didn't hear what I said earlier on, we made these small ones here. Whoops, there we go. And then what we did is we popped them in the oven, and then halfway through we pulled them out and we cut out a little section. Now you can either do it halfway through or you can pull them out at the end and do it immediately. Now the reason we didn't do it from the word go is we found that this gap filled, and that's not what we had in mind for what I have got planned for this. Now I've already put a picture on my website. If you go to traceyscakes.co.uk, you will already see what I've done on there with this. But basically I just liked the idea, and I don't know, I'm going to show you this actually, of taking hold of one of these. I'm going to try my hardest to show you this without it falling off. And you just hook it onto your coffee cup like that. So it literally just sits on your coffee cup like that and leans against the handle. I can't do it very well at the moment. When I stand up in a minute, what I'll do is I'll show you it. So basically it sits on there. You imagine having someone round for coffee with a little tiny cupcake cookie waiting for them on the side of the cup. So I just thought that was a really cute idea. It's really, really sweet. And I did take a load of photos. Please note also that I have a cupcake on my mug. So they sit nicely onto there, but they lean against the handle. So what you'll have to do is work out how wide your handles are to make sure that they fit, because you don't want to make that. Everybody's cups are different, aren't they? So there's no point in me telling you to cut them all 2mm or something when they're more or less than that. But it does look very sweet, and again you will see them on the website, and I've already taken a photograph of the royal iced ones, so you'll see a picture of that coming up shortly. And you'll be able to see how that works. What I'll try and do is I'll try and stand up with it in a minute, or I won't, not standing today, am I? I'll try and lift it up, and then you'll be able to see it on the thing. So hold on a second. Love me mug. I've got 6 of these mugs. Right, there we go. How about that? Let's bring it in a bit further so you can see it. Can you see? How much fun is that? Oh, cup of tea. Work out in my
cup of tea with my mug and my little cupcake on top. There you go. Oh, lovely. Thank you very much. I'll eat that. Or you pop it on there. But what you want to do is have them so they're leaning against the handle, because if you kind of put them in the middle, they can get a little bit wobbly. So just lean it back against the handle like that. And you can do it. So yeah, that's cool, isn't it? I think it's quite cool anyway. It appeals to me, appeals to my sense of humour. So yeah, I quite like it. I thought it was fun. So you can have that, and then obviously because that's quite small, you'll need another biscuit as well, so you'll need at least 2 per person. But if it's just something different, you imagine having a load of cups lined up together with these little cookies on top, and I just thought, yes, I like that a lot. And it's no harder to make that little one than it is to do anything else, because it's exactly the same. All you've got to do is literally just cut out that little piece, and that's all you need to do. Everything else is exactly the same. You're going to flood them the same, you're going to cut the paste out the same. They're all exactly the same, so there is no extra work involved at all. It's just really sweet. And I say I did another one. There's another one. I like that. There you go. Cheers, it works. Prefer the other one because it's got a cupcake on it. See, it's got a little thing on there. But this cup's got a little strawberry on it, so you could replicate that as well if you wanted to. You could turn that little dot on there into a little strawberry or something. So there's loads you can do. This is kind of like opening the gates and going, there you go, let's see what you can come up with, because there are so many cupcake cases and different ideas out there. So what I'll do is this video, you'll be able to go back and watch it. If you've missed it and you're just joining me, it will be on Sugar and Crumbs. You'll be able to see it. I'll also put it up on my YouTube channel as well, but there'll be a second video coming up in the next couple of days with the royal iced ones as well, so you'll be able to see how those are done, because it's much more difficult to do that live, so I pre-recorded that instead. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. How long have I been on? Hour and a half, so a little bit longer than usual, but yes, thank you very much for joining me. I will be back on Tuesday evening at 6:30 on Sugar and Crumbs. So have a lovely day, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, Nikki, for putting up all the links and the comments for me, because I haven't got my Kelly here today, so I do appreciate your help. And I'm looking forward now to seeing what you're going to do. There's lots of possibilities with that. If you need any further information, there's my website, traceyscakes.co.uk. Don't forget to pop over to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and then you can catch up with all the videos and see all that as well. As videos being released every single week, everything I've done on Sugar and Crumbs and more is now going onto YouTube. So last week I had a moment. What did I do with that? Last week I made Mrs. Potts. I made her out of, so Mrs. Potts, the Disney Mrs. Potts, I made her out of one of my teapot molds. It's a very quick video on YouTube, so if you want to catch up on that, go and have a look at that. And you can do something like that as a cake topper. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it, more than anything else? So lots of ideas on there, lots of things to look at, long videos, short videos, all sorts of things, but do catch up anyway. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. I'm gonna have my lunch now. Have a nice day, and I'll see you on Tuesday at 6:30 next week. Take care. Bye.